My name is Sarah Malinowski, and I am here with Empowered to Live Free. Looking forward to continuing our series on what we have in our hands. What is it that we have that we can move forward with? Really taking that next step as God illuminates the path before us and not waiting until we have the full path figured out to get started. So we've done a really good amount of study in this with different people like Moses and Joshua and Gideon. And today I want to talk about Ruth. Ruth is a woman who had lost pretty much everything. I mean, she had been married to her husband and had this mother-in-law, and her husband had passed away, and her father-in-law had passed away, and now her mother-in-law is talking about returning to her homeland, which means that she's going to have to give up her homeland to return to Naomi's homeland. And in the passage where she's returning, where they finally make it to Bethlehem after this long, arduous walk. Like they've been walking for days, for months. Like this is a hard, long walk. But they make it into town. And the thing that comes out of Naomi's mouth would be less than something you want to hear as her daughter-in-law. Like as her daughter-in-law, if I'm walking with you, girl, you've got something. But Naomi goes back bitter. She goes back empty. And that could have affected Ruth. But she chose not to let it affect her. She rose above it. When they get back to town, Naomi says, I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Like, how? You have Ruth standing right beside you. You have a woman who just gave up her home. She lost her husband too. She lost everything she knew, but she's beside you. But Naomi couldn't see it. But see, Ruth didn't draw her value from what Naomi thought about her. Ruth didn't let what Naomi said when they entered town dictate how she was going to live in that town. She didn't let it define her. She knew she was different. She wasn't like the others. She was a foreigner. She knew she was going to be treated and probably whispered about through town. But she did what she could do. She showed up with what she had. She said, okay, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do. So she tells Naomi in chapter 2, it says, and Ruth the Moabitess said to Naomi, let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone whose eyes I find favor in. So Ruth is like, okay, I've got this Naomi, my mother-in-law. She's bitter. She's like just kind of sitting here waiting for something to happen. She's not so happy. But I know what I can do. I can go glean from a field. I can get something for our home. I can do this. She takes the strength that she has and she goes to a field. And she just happens to find the field of Boaz, a near kinsman, a kinsman redeemer who would become her kinsman redeemer. She didn't wait until it was perfectly clear. She didn't wait until the opportunity was so clear that she's like, okay, this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. She knew it's harvest time. She knew there's food out there. We need food. Okay, I'm an able body. I have the ability to work. I'm going to go find a field. And God appointed the field for her to work in, the field that would bring about a great reward. In fact, in verse 12, it says, may the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Boaz comes and shares these words with her. He sees her. He experiences her kindness and her willingness and her dedication to her mother-in-law. So she uses what she has. She says, this is my ability, and God honored it. Just like God honored Gideon in the battle and let him face an incredible army, he honored Ruth. He honored Ruth so much so that she became a woman in the lineage of Christ. How incredible! Like this woman was used to do something magnificent that history was going to wait for the unveiling of. She was a part of that line because she was willing to make the first move. She was willing to go into a field. She was willing to glean. She was willing to do something that maybe she didn't even fully understand how to do, but she was willing to do it. You see, there's something that you can do. And there is a reward waiting for you, but you're going to have to take the first step. You're going to have to be obedient. You're going to have to go even when you don't have all the answers. Are you willing to do it? Is there a field you can start gleaning from? Is there a place that God wants to use you? Are you willing to go even if you don't have all the answers?